Hello, you're listening to Good Brews, Bad Views, the podcast that asks if great beer makes bad movies any better. I'm your host, a man who is more likely to be killed by the condition of Michigan roads than by any demonically possessed cars, Max and Starwich. And as always, joined by my two Bubbas, co-hosts, Ryan Everhart.
Bubba number one.
And James Thorpe.
Is that a trucker horn?
I think so.
Good.
So it is Motor Month here at Good Brews, Bad Views. We'll be watching a lot of car/engine-based movies, or talking about them here on the podcast. For today's podcast, we are watching Maximum Overdrive, as voted upon by the Good Brews, Bad Views Patreon patrons. Thank you, patrons.
Yes, thank you.
This is a notoriously known movie directed and written by one and only Stephen King.
Yay.
So, a very coked out of his mind Stephen King, or so the stories that everyone tells go.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yes.
Allegedly. But how this podcast is going to work is we're going to be watching Maximum Overdrive. We're going to be drinking a variety of beers alongside of it, and we're going to be providing you with a commentary track of what is going on in the movie, what we like, what we don't like, the general quality of the music featured in this film, which I'm sure James has several things to say, and just trying to have a good time while we're doing this. So, the podcast is designed to be listened to alongside watching the movie, but in the event you were just here for the audio experience, we'll be doing our best to narrate what is going on screen, so you can go about your day doing whatever the hell it is you do in your free time besides listen to podcasts. Ryan, why don't you tell the folks at home where they can tune their sets?
The great many places offered. We are again streaming via Amazon Prime today. We are 33 seconds into our stream. The DEG logo has just begun to fade, but a quick aside.
Dag.
Dag. Welcome to Dag
De
Entertainment.
Laurentiis.
Dag Entertainment. If you don't have the time or just tolerance to listen to us for the whole episode, please check this episode's description for a timestamp that you can jump to catch all of our wrap-up thoughts on the movie, the beer, and whatever else we happen to stumble across along the way. But back to the timing, we are 33 seconds into our stream with the DEG logo just beginning to fade. So if you're watching along at home, press play now.
Do you know De Laurentiis? That's a name that evokes a lot of movies of varying quality.
Yeah.
For me, it just evokes a cartoon dinosaur from a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. But
okay, yeah.
Tough.
But I'm a simple man.
Yeah.
With simple tastes.
Earth.
What is Earth?
So we have a very old viewing of Earth, which is clearly like a matte painting.
Yep.
You know what? So we got
no Star Wars.
We got some text. Basically, the Earth is going to go through a comet, a diffuse tail of a comet. And you know what?
I'm fine with this setup.
I'm gonna tell you this. One, this is a stupid setup, which is perfectly fine because it's a stupid movie.
Yes.
And I like when sci-fi movies are just like things happen.
Yep.
Right.
And then I also got to tell you, you know what that 30 seconds of reading just saved us? 20 minutes of setup,
of exposition, and being like, what's going on, and then like it'd be like the beginning of the core. We've skipped the first act of the core.
Right.
Yep. This is So we have now we get some naughty machines.
Yeah, an exterior shot of a bank, and it's
Stephen
Stephen King himself.
Yep. Doing his Hitchcock
doing his
here.
bacon.
Yeah.
He's trying to take some money out of an ATM, and it's just calling him an asshole with the text.
Yes.
Yeah. This is weird. This is a Stephen King movie not set in Stephen King country.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So yeah, but like 100%, I know that a lot of movies get crap for like, oh, you just use some text to set things up, but it saves so much time.
Would you rather have 20 minutes of poorly done character development instead
of some kind of like scientist that we just don't care about for the rest of the movie being like, well, gee, Laura, the comet's a coming.
Yeah. Oh, me and my girl are gonna go out and watch the comet go by at the cliffs, and then the car like drives off the cliff with them inside of it.
Right. Yeah. So we're already we're gonna get pummeled with AC/DC, which for James this sounds like bad news.
I just find AC/DC songs boring for the most part.
The quality of AC/DC is directly proportional to the volume at which it is being played.
That's fair. Also, the amount of Angus in it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Of course. So we got 2 air traffic control guys just fucking off playing cards. One dude's picking his nose.
Bridge traffic control, but you know, tomato.
Oh yeah.
Big old jar of pickled eggs.
I hope they're playing bridge.
Bridge on a bridge. That'd be a king thing.
Yeah.
King thing, do your thing.
So here we begin the sequence of very practical effects throughout this entire
This
movie.
I was so excited for the whole movie to be
It's all practical
this
effects.
first bit.
We see a lot of switches being turned and buttons being pressed on their own.
And levers being pulled.
Yeah. I like how AC/DC's logo in the opening credits
Is
is
the logo.
their actual
Yeah.
logo.
Yeah.
Small little thing.
So clearly this is where Jon Favreau decided to do the entire Iron Man 2 soundtrack with AC/DC.
Yeah. So
I really hope so. I hope he was
Yeah,
like,
so-
you know what movie I love? Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah.
So Stephen King was supposedly like coked out of his mind when he made this. So this movie's just as much a brought to you by Pablo Escobar as it is by Stephen King.
And here we have a
Executive produced.
here we have a drawbridge drawn when it shouldn't be drawn.
Yeah. You ain't supposed to be drawing, Bridge. Not yet.
There's cars on it.
Wait, Ryan, I just
Yo.
figured out something.
Ah.
This comet business, it explains all of your constant computer problems.
Oh, you know what? At this point, I'll buy it. It's fucking comets.
This is brutal too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, this part isn't. This guy just falling into the river in slow motion. Which is
He's
silly.
making a pseudo like goofy yell too.
Yeah. Wilhelm scream, yeah.
So yeah, all sorts of chaos is happening on this bridge. We've got a truck that the front half of the truck is on one half of the bridge, back half of the truck is on the other.
And the guy clearly could have jumped out of the truck and just decided to do this instead
Yep.
for some god awful reason.
The rear axle pops off.
Like it's a Tonka truck.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah.
They drop a fucking truck from a bridge. It looks pretty neat.
It looks great.
Yeah.
All of the effects work in this movie because they're all
Yeah,
real.
practical
Yeah.
shit.
They
dude.
destroyed a lot of cars in
Yeah,
this
they
movie.
did.
Yeah.
And an AC/DC van.
Yeah.
It's just absurd carnage of all of this.
Yeah.
Cars driving on top of other cars. That's just like that doesn't make sense even in this scenario.
Yeah.
Shower of
I
watermelon.
like the watermelons just breaking like it's some kind of gore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe this is how they kept it to like PG-13, but got it to like get a concept of gore. And then
Yeah.
later on, it's like, oh no, they didn't do
no,
that.
It's just an
No.
R-rated movie.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
So much of this carnage could have been saved by just being normal.
Backing up.
Yeah.
The light's green. So the
This
bridge.
old bridge operator looks very, very familiar. I'm sure I've seen him in.
He does look familiar.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's noticed. Yeah, this is a very expensive and awesome scene.
Yes.
Yeah. They probably actually did this. They
Yeah,
probably actually
yeah.
put cars on a bridge and they're like, raise the bridge.
Fucking do it. And now here we get introduced to one of the movie's main characters, which is the semi with the giant green goblin face.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would say this is, if you've never heard of, if you've never seen Maximum Overdrive, you've at least seen this semi truck.
Yeah, probably. Which is awesome. This semi-truck rules.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, the semi truck is still around. Some guy like takes it to like cons and shit or whatever,
that's cool.
I'd
and you can pay like $20 to get your picture taken with it. Which,
I would be as excited to take my picture with that as Steve Cuff was to take a picture with the Pork Chop Express.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So here we have the Dixie Boy truck stop, where most of this movie is set. We have a character who looks suspiciously like Randy a little bit,
Oh, he does kind of look like Randy.
like Randy circa 2015.
This is
Needs more scruff.
this is where we can start telling some old school stuff here because like this guy gets out and there's just like full service here at this truck stop.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I feel like stuff like that also hung around a lot longer in rural areas like this too.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah,
That's a rad fucking.
It's so cool.
yeah. I guess
what I'm
there
looking
is
for
still full service in some states. Like I think Oregon recently just passed a law saying like it was no longer required.
Yeah.
Huh.
And people
Yeah.
were losing their fucking mind. Like, some vagrant's going to assault me while I'm filling up my car.
Oh, I got the vapors.
Yeah.
So the truck driver that just got out is in the truck stop / restaurant, and they're having radio issues.
Mm-hmm.
This lady, the waitress, looks like she could have been Heather Graham's mother.
Mm.
Yeah.
And here we have Emilio Estevez, which implies the existence of an Emilio analog Estevez.
I was gonna say an Emilio Estevez.
Hey, very good.
I the first of him being like, "I got eggs on," it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's Giancarlo Esposito here in this scene in the arcade.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, because I was
I
going
see it
through
now.
the IMDb of this,
Yeah.
just being like, there's a lot of faces I recognize.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to know, so.
He is in the arcade, and it's just spewing cigarettes
And change.
coffee and change.
Mhm.
He's pocketing it because, I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Yep.
Giancarlo Esposito is a today's current bad guy badass. He's in a lot of stuff. He's also, I guess, in the new Far Cry game, Far Cry 6. I think he's the big bad in Far Cry 6.
Did that say 157 gallons?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Truck's got a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently.
All right, so this guy's like, what in the hell tarnations, to use a
Yeah.
Yep. And then he
Phrase
looks
from a
down
friend.
The nozzle of the
Huh?
of the
Over under on something bad happening. Oh
Yeah.
my, something bad. What is this music? I love
I
it.
love it. I love the music.
Does it sound like they're saying something as well?
No.
No.
I just it
I
sounds
hear-
just a little bit like the Psycho
It yeah,
like
yeah.
violin, but just like synth.
It's got this weird essence of like words in it to me that aren't really supposed to be words. I don't know. It has a very bizarre effect on me.
Yeah.
Now we get to learn about Emilio here.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. This shitty boss.
So Commissioner Gordon and Gordon Bombay have assembled the Council of Gordons to talk about vigilante justice and getting kids off the street playing hockey.
So that we can all band together and survive the sentient truck overtaking.
Yeah. So, Gordon Bombay is being threatened by Commissioner Gordon that he needs to work 9 hours but only punch in for 8.
Yep.
And because he's on parole, he has to play ball or he's going back to the slammer. Because Commissioner Gordon is a enemy of the worker.
Yes. Is this Burton Gordon or is this Adam West?
This is
Gordon.
Burton Gordon.
Yeah,
Or
that's what I
Burton
thought.
and Shoemaker. He's one of the 2 actors
Oh.
in all 4 of the 90s.
They carried over.
Yep.
Got it.
And then this waitress just
Decimating eggs.
destroying.
Whatever. It's gonna taste great. Fuck. I'm really hungry, actually. I'm quite hungry right now.
I mean, of all the foods to like possibly mess up, like eggs are the hardest.
Yeah. And then he looks at all the time cards, and there are an awful lot of stars on those time cards.
There was
One that had 2.
there was a joke name on one of them, and I fucking forgot to write it down.
And then the electric knife attacks
Yeah.
the waitress.
I have never trusted those like electric carving things. They
Yeah.
just seem like unsafe.
They
Maybe
seem-
it's because they're always used in a threatening manner whenever they show up in movies.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're just inherently malicious.
Yeah.
I thought that for a second. I was like, "Is that fucking Stephen Root?" But I was like, "Nah, he would have been really young in this." So now the saw is just still going on the floor, and instead of reaching for the off switch, they've elected to beat it to death with a hammer.
It's faulty. It's
Right.
got a mind of its own. It's got the taste.
I mean, it is battery operated.
Yeah.
I love that noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Back in the arcade.
We gotta go see. We gotta go see Dave.
I was gonna say this upcoming scene is how I expect Dave will die.
We should tag him.
Yep.
That is freaking me out. That's Mr. Esposito.
Yeah.
So this scene, the arcade machine's making what I can only describe as a low budget 2001 A Space Odyssey climax.
Yep. It's just playing Wingdings.
Yeah.
Wingdings, the arcade game.
So this character gets hypnotized by the arcade machine, goes into Michael Winslow convulsions.
Very good, very good.
And then shoots across the arcade. Pat Hingle looks so weird without his mustache.
Pat Hingle being the Commissioner Gordon character.
Yes.
No alcohol in the arcade.
Mm-hmm. Wise.
Like, do not kick the games too. Also,
Yeah.
Correct.
That sign is for people.
I
like
do
me.
love me playing some arcade games and drinking alcohol. It's a very fun experience.
You hear that, Dave? We're coming.
Mm-hmm. Recently, I started looking up instructions of like how to make my own MAME cabinet to like run arcade games because like fuck, those things are expensive. Like
Yeah.
if you actually want to own one.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, quickly, Max. Let's just summarize for anyone listening. Who is our previous guest, Dave? And why do keep
Dave.
mentioning
We
him
had
right now?
our friend Dave on for
Excuse me.
Mortal Kombat, who's really big in the Metro Detroit arcade scene, which is slowly reopening.
Mhm.
So, check out Psychic Drive online for
Yes.
more information and photos.
Please. So we've got one of the Little League coaches here trying to get some soft drinks for the kids, and the machine ain't cooperating.
There's a lot of black comedy in this,
Yeah.
as denoted by the guy taking a soda to the nuts.
And then he takes a soda can right to the forehead.
Yep.
Or several ones, and then some kids just get like taken
Pelted.
out.
Yep. Oh, this movie. This is where you're like, oh, I guess this movie isn't gonna play.
Yeah.
You know, it's a real horror movie when some kids get taken
murked.
out.
Thoop.
Him putting the catcher's mask on really cracked.
Yeah,
me up,
yeah.
Actually.
Look, he reduces his cross section relative to the incoming fire.
Yep.
This is a bright kid.
It is.
Yeah.
At this point, I was like, "Fuck yes, please be this for the whole rest of the fucking movie." Just, it's so good.
I also like that the soda can machine. You can clearly see the two tubes in there where they're shooting the soda cans out.
So this kid just like goes over the front handles of his bike. So I was like, can the machines control bikes?
Yeah, right.
Unknown, but they can control steamrollers. And
And then the kid gets steamrolled.
Like you actually see him get steamrolled.
Yeah.
She went
This
under
is
the
brutal.
wheels.
Yeah. At this point, I was sold on this movie. This is the scene where I was like, okay, I'm here for this.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So now we cut to a traveling Bible salesman and a female hitchhiker.
Yep.
In this first shot with them in the car, I thought the chick on the left was the main actress from Dead Alive / Brain Dead, who she very much looks like here, but it is not her.
Oh, your grandmother your mother ate my dog.
Yeah. Yes.
No. So we have a very handsy man in a seersucker suit and a mustache that is obviously taking control over him.
Yeah. He's getting handsy, and she's not taking it. Fucking Bible salesman. So what are we drinking, dudes?
Yes, what are we drinking?
We are drinking Raspberry Dream Ale, which is a sour from Connecticut Valley Brewing Company. This is a beer that I was gifted by a dude named Ryan who lives in Royal Oak, and we purchased a oven on behalf of a coworker of Katie's. Nice. He is a beer distributor, and he offered this up to me when he said it.
Thanks, other Ryan.
Yeah.
Yes.
The council of Ryans grows stronger every day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I believe this is delicious.
Yeah, this is very, very refreshing. It's got a nice little tart backbone, but it's not mouth-puckeringly sour. Good raspberry flavor.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
This
I'm
is
all about
lovely.
that.
I will say, at least in mine, I drank it fairly quickly after opening the can, and it had a very, very sharp sour bite at the beginning that has since gone.
The warmer it gets, the less sour hit I'm getting. I think this is tremendous.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Connecticut Valley Brewing Company before, so this is a new one by me.
They are out of South Windsor, Connecticut. I really can't think of many breweries from Connecticut that I've had before. So
No. Well, I mean, Connecticut is like the size of this basement. So
it is true.
Fair.
there's not a lot of space to have any breweries there.
Mm-hmm. But no, this is delicious.
So, the scuzzy Bible salesman and his hitchhiker have stopped at this gas station that's starting to collect all of our main characters.
Yes.
And the Bible salesman is haranguing the hitchhiker for not being more polite.
Yes, after he was sexually harassing her.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Very on brand.
So here we see the Green Goblin truck is growing angry/hungry and is revving its engine and shifting into drive. I do like how the lights on the headlights go through the eyes.
The eyes, yeah.
So the truck tried to run those people over and it failed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's like, what?
Mm-hmm.
She looks like Lady Indiana Jones.
A little bit,
there,
Yeah.
Honestly, I find the clown art on the back of that truck also pretty disturbing.
Yeah, it looks like it's right out of Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
It does. No one drinks Miller High Life out of a glass, lady. Put that back.
What's wrong with you?
This is-
Hot wire champion.
Yeah,
Oh,
so.
ain't no keys in that truck. How
Nope.
did it move?
Yep.
Mm.
And we get our final characters introduced to us. Yes. Right here?
Yes.
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 A newly married couple and a lady with what might be one of the most annoying voices we've ever had on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But also a very famous one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Jared Lee Smith, the voice of Lisa Simpson. And this is pre-Simpsons, this movie.
Yes, by 3 years. Probably
Yep.
This is probably pre-Tracy Ullman show.
Which is pre-Simpsons is really hard to say now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think about how old this movie is, and this is pre-Simpsons,
Mm-hmm.
and barely.
Yeah, this is 1986, so.
So these are Kurt and Connie.
Just a good old couple.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I love that this movie goes for it and just has, like, it's just all real effects. This movie feels very lived in. Like,
Yeah.
none of this feels for a movie about cars and things operating on their own. None of it feels fake.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably because, like, these are actually all, like, shot on location stuff.
They are, yeah. I mean, the whole thing's great. Is he dead?
I mean, you could argue that the main gas station, the Dixie Boy, that most of our movie is at, was probably built for the movie.
But it's still a location.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
Like if they did build it,
I based that based off of the finale of this movie,
Right.
which
Yeah.
we'll get to when we get to it.
yeah.
So
Somewhere near the end.
Yep. No, it's great. Like I
because you can't like make these little set dressing detail
No.
kind of stuff that the way or you'd have to spend way more money than this movie did to kind of get this real kind of look.
So one thing about that too that I like is that
Fucking Mater from
Yeah.
Cars.
Yeah.
this movie doesn't get too big for itself ever. Right? Like it
Yeah.
concentrates on this group of characters in this small town, which reminds me in some ways of some of the best like zombie film stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Is this movie a Cars prequel?
Obviously.
Yes.
And I wouldn't be surprised to learn if there were direct like homages and Easter eggs of this movie in one of the Cars films. Like, that's very on brand for Pixar.
This
Yeah.
is probably that Mater is probably built off of this car. This,
I would
this
expect
pickup
so.
truck.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Especially if his front right headlight is broken like that.
Yeah. Just a small thing that I appreciated there when that truck shows up, it comes back around. That headlight is broken and bloody already.
Yeah.
By the time that it tries to murderate Curtis. Curterate.
More like
Vehicular
Curtis.
Kurt Slaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his process. Nice.
Yeah.
He's like, ain't nobody driving.
Yep.
Yeah, this movie has 97 minutes long, and at least 15 of it are dramatic shots of empty cabins, either the pedals being stepped on or things being shifted.
Yeah, that's probably a fairly accurate tabulation.
Yeah. The voice that Smith does just shows you how good of a voice actress she is. Because this voice is always pitch perfect the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're in North Carolina, so she kind of has like that southern thing going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so they're piecing out of the gas station because the truck is, acting on its own again.
Yep. And then she tries to drive the wrong way.
I'd forgotten that she takes the wheel after this scene.
After this scene, I thought we were going to get a scene somewhere in the movie where the alien comet dust fakes out the train stopping. Fucking, I can't think, the arms.
Yeah.
And causes somebody to get nailed by a train. That does not happen.
And anytime train-based combat comes up, it always reminds me of what is one of my favorite Ali G sketches, is when he's interviewing somebody with the FBI, and he's like, they're like, no, we have good, we are doing a great job protecting the government. He's like, what if I drove a train into the White House? And the guy's just like, what?
While it's the grommets, it puts the train tracks in.
Good, very good.
That clown is horrifying.
Yeah, it's very, I don't like it. So Emilio Estevez is investigating the cabin of the Green Goblin.
Which is
18-wheeler.
blood red leather.
Yeah.
Yep.
This looks like the inside of a peep show booth. Not that I would know what that looks like. I just assume.
Yeah.
I mean, the interiors of old cars are just fascinating.
Yeah.
Because they hadn't started cutting costs there yet.
No.
Yeah.
So Emilio is hearing some quiet musical notes from behind this red curtain in the cab.
He does I'm putting my key between my knuckles.
He's doing the Wolverine.
Or apparently what women do when walking alone at night.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's a Green Goblin Jack in the Box in the cab.
Totally.
So I'm trying to figure out what can the comet / machines control? Bridges.
Whatever is plot useful.
Plot relevant.
Yes. This side of this cab is hand painted. I appreciated that.
Yeah.
So I get this shot is likely supposed to be building some sort of tension with him walking next to this truck that we know is alive.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of a boring shot. It's too long. Yeah. Oh. Now the truck is coming to life again. So
Indiana Jones.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Indiana Jones and Gordon Bombay are flirting by the death truck.
See, it moves its mirror.
Yeah.
I think if it's attached to the main thing, it can still control it.
Yeah.
I like that. I do like that it's just it's magic space dust.
Yeah, magic space dust.
It just works.
I don't understand the appeal for Emilio Estevez.
He's got an earring, man.
Yeah.
He's got a dark side.
Yeah.
He's a bad boy.
Bad boy side. He's dangerous.
This is what
He's a good-looking guy.
This is what he was doing before he became the hockey coach.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, what if all of Emilio Estevez's movie roles are continuous? He starts off as a repo man in Repo Man.
Right.
Then he gets arrested and has to go work at a truck stop.
There you go. And then a traveling hockey team stops in, a youth hockey team. He's like, I can teach these kids.
I just like the idea that these sprinklers are trying to be threatening here too.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
But what if we sprinkled you?
Yeah.
This is
This
gruesome.
dude laying on a lawn with a chainsaw halfway through his neck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't focus on a lot of like the gruesome death shots for
No.
very long. They're like in the background or
Yeah, it's a good flow.
easy to miss. Yeah,
Yep.
a lot of implied violence.
So we're getting a news broadcast. Well, through some headphones. A bloody Walkman.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, everyone is listening to headphones because there are people just hanging out on their porches / roofs, having been killed by their headphones.
So this kid's going through, like, to him, what must feel like an apocalypse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting shot. It's a good shot, I think. So we see first we hear police sirens, and the kid looks over to the side of the road, and there's a dead dog with a toy cop car in its mouth, and it's the toy cop car that's going off.
Yeah. That is obviously a dummy, and it is cracking me up. That it's not, but the shot from below.
Casting call could not find a woman in her 20s who wanted to be dead with a hair dryer cord wrapped around her neck.
Right.
So.
I don't think we know this kid's name yet in this movie.
No, we won't know his name for like
a while,
or how he relates. Well, there was a blink and you'll miss it shot of him on someone's desk at the gas station.
Yep.
But up until later, I was just like, how the fuck does this kid matter? Because I missed it.
Mm-hmm.
And here we have Sweet Tooth approaching.
Yes.
Oh, God, please make a Twisted Metal TV show. Please. This is the Mighty Tasty truck.
Yep.
Which, for anyone who's read King, it's spelled exactly as you would expect him to spell it on an ice cream truck.
Looks very similar to the ice cream truck from the beginning of Assault on Precinct 13. Which that movie's got a soundtrack that fucking owns.
And
Yes,
And
it
this ice
does.
cream truck has Tasted Blood.
Yep.
Yes.
This kid is more clever than most of the adults in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah, the adults in the movie are pretty dumb.
Yeah, the sentient machines called many dumb adults at the beginning.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I would say in general, people are pretty stupid.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, it's just data.
Mm-hmm.
It's science. So we got a bloody lawnmower. in the
a
foreground.
lawnmower who obviously has killed someone.
Yeah,
Yes.
which is a great shot.
I
Actually.
love
really-
this shot.
Yeah. And then
Comes chasing after
yeah,
him.
it's like, aha!
Ah!
You can clearly see in these shots though that the lawnmower's wheels aren't even touching the ground for most of it.
That's what I love about it. It's clearly on something
I
else.
fucking love it though. All right.
Oh,
so-
they've gone to the 40s of Miller High.
Yeah, they got the big old bottles out. God, he's so gross speaking with his mouth full of food. You can see it full of food.
Mm. Make sure to stop me when I do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
So here's his dad.
yeah. The kid's dad had
Yep.
gasoline sludge blasted into his eyes. He's
Yeah.
not looking great.
Do you see?
Do you see?
The kid just needed a psycho
Deke.
gourmet.
The kid
his
is
way to his
named
dad.
Deke.
Find
Yeah.
me.
Just gotta find my boy.
I just want my son back.
I just want my kid's dad. Homeless dad. Hingle just chewing the scenery here.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like to think that Hingle doesn't know anyone's names. That's why he just calls them all Bubba.
Rah, 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 rah.
Or what?
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So we got a big old trash hauler semi. Who's gonna quietly sneak up on this blind gas station attendee.
Just
Jesus.
Yeah.
he gets fucking annihilated with a great practical shot.
Mhm.
Yep.
All right, everyone back inside.
Yep. Everyone back in the pile.
So back to the interior shot at the restaurant. Bible salesman.
Bible says like fuck your car in particular.
Still just mouthful of food.
That's a small thing, but when he says "out of my way, bitch" and just pushes the waitress, I mean, it's just really showing who he is.
Yep.
The Bible salesman. Yeah, the trash truck just crunched the Bible salesman's car and dumped a bunch of fucking trash on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of these vehicles, I mean, the actual turn radius can probably be measured in gas stations.
Yeah.
Yeah. The threatening gear shifts.
Yeah. They're all jerky.
Fuck that clown, dude. Everybody run in a straight line.
Yeah. Trucks can't turn.
Sounds like the music is saying Trent to me.
Knocked out of his shoes. Why is the clown crying?
Sad clown. I like that this movie leans into its B movie.
Oh yeah. The one thing I really wanted is the back of that clown, like the clown's expression to change over time.
That would have been really cool, actually.
All right, back to position.
Yep. They'll never. They're treating.
Blend in. Look, act casual.
They're treating the humans in this truck stop like mooks in a video game. Whose footprints are these?
Yeah.
Who killed Bill?
All right.
All right.
I didn't say anything.
Back on patrol.
Back to my predetermined route.
Must have been nothing.
Yeah.
Mustn't deviate. Bubba Hendershot. Heck of a name.
Yeah.
So they're trying to collect
Duncan.
Yeah. Formerly alive Duncan.
This is actually like sad.
Yeah. So, Indiana Jane is off in the restroom. She's like, I want to take a shower. I can still smell them on me. The Bible salesman.
Yeah.
Which
is a lot darker than this movie goes pretty much anywhere else.
Yeah, but it's something I contribute to King's writing. Like I can see like that be something he would throw in one of his stories.
Yeah,
and they kind of do that with Beverly in It.
Yeah, it's true. This is I've read this short story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's based off a story called Trucks, I believe, which is from his first short story compilation.
Yeah. The story Trucks was cool. I enjoyed it. I know that his novels are it's opinionated as to whether or not people like his novels, but his short stories are typically very good. They can be silly, but like you can tell he's having fun all the time. And then we have a lineup of trucks, just
many trucks.
The trucks are all talking or something.
Yeah.
So the cacophony that's produced by all the trucks honking at once sounds very much like the War of the Worlds, the Spielberg version, like what those ships, how they sound.
That version really freaked me out. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I remember seeing it in theaters and thought like, okay, it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It was elevated by having the glorious Justin Chatwin of Dragon Ball Evolution fame. He's
there's
the
a
son.
Okay, I was gonna say like I'm trying to think like, who's in the movie besides Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning. The other son, the other kid.
The other kid.
Yep. There's a specific scene in that movie that freaks me out a lot, which is the one of the people just in the cage, and the top opens up and it just like grabs someone. And then, like, red spray comes out of the top as it makes flowers. Like that concept of just like being stuck like that has always been freaked me out.
So Bubba Hendershot / Commissioner Gordon / Pat Hengel is like, these trucks got no right to be driving around like this.
Yeah, the no right is such a great line. No right. Like, what? Running over the shoe is a weird scene to
Yeah.
And it's already a quick cut, but it's still twice as long as it needs to be.
Yeah.
No, just an efficiency thing.
Gonna pad that time.
Yeah. So now we have Connie and Curtis driving one way on an expressway, and headed the other way is just 9 million trucks.
Yep. I like that he's answering this question like a dad.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, I don't know,
No.
he's just
Yeah.
naming cities in the other direction.
He's naming things that, while strictly
And he
speaking,
knows
are
are the other
possibilities.
way.
Yeah. Yes. No, there is no evidence to support the fact that they are going
To
there.
those specific places.
Yeah.
But it's a possibility.
But it's
Like
a
I had
possibility.
I had to do this training recently at work where I had to go through like is not, where it's like it is this, it is not that, but it could possibly be.
Right. Yep.
Loaded my pants. That's a
A kingism.
phrase I have not heard
Yeah.
before. So Connie and Curtis are now being chased by a big old Mack truck.
Yep. More shifting.
Yeah.
And we get some passably energetic AC/DC music.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, Curtis is not putting his foot.
He's not trying.
He's not trying if this thing is catching up to them.
Yeah. So it's I don't know, it's a fairly standard chase scene you'd
It's
expect
the-
between a semi and a
Yeah. No, this is
sedan.
fine.
It's fine.
The camera from inside of the car with the idea, or the truck, like the idea that that's how the truck is seen.
Yeah.
They use that
Mhm.
shot a lot, and it's so dumb. but
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
I like how she tries to fake out the truck.
Yeah.
Honk honk, miss me with that shit. Honk.
That's yeah. Tell him, Connie. You big wimp. Drive
Mhm.
faster.
Be a man.
Whee!
Yeah. Aha!
Ha!
Makes the truck out, which
Fix-
immediately bursts into flames.
Which is already on fire when it comes over the
Yeah.
hill.
Hey, maybe comet dust controlled machines are more flammable than regular machines.
It could be. The dust.
Well, it does just explode now.
Yeah.
Yep.
The dust itself is flammable.
Yes. So
Yeah.
Yeardley Smith's freak out is excellent.
Yeah.
Call the police. Call the police on these these driverless vehicles.
Yeah. Hey, they're white and in the South. The police will help them.
Yeah, it's true.
Headed to the Dixie Boy truck. Bring me the head of Peterbilt Parker.
Sleep. Check out our social media, where I'm sure sometime in the next month I'm gonna put Willem Dafoe's face on the front of a
Yeah.
semi truck.
This looks normal. We should totally try to go here.
Yes.
Yep.
She's just.
Mocking him.
Yep.
So Curtis and Connie are trying to play Frogger
Yeah.
to get into the gas station.
Why hasn't this person's car turned against them?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, why did the trucks destroy the Bible salesman car?
Right.
Yeah, because we've seen.
Maybe they also don't like proselytizing or whatever.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Because we saw from earlier when the kid was biking around that the pizza man's truck or car turned on him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
get it. All right, they're gunning it.
Yep, here we go.
That shot was clearly a man dressed up as Connie, as a stunt person. And they get fucking clipped and flipped.
Yep.
So there's a lot of notable brands on these trucks. We got Miller, Bic,
Yep.
et cetera, et cetera. What do you think the marketing pitch was for this movie to brands like this?
Your truck is going to be driving around for like an hour.
I think it was confidently slamming down just a handful of Coke on their desk and being like,
Could be a boat.
So Connie's just like losing her mind.
Yeah.
Hearing Lisa Simpson scream, "I'm sick of this shit, you goddamn assholes," is kind of satisfying, actually. And now Pat Hingle has a fucking rocket launcher.
Stick it up your indistinct.
Yeah. He's...
Jesus Christ.
So Hendershot's got a fucking rocket launcher.
That is an AT-4 anti-tank weapon.
And it's just taking out semis. Just shooting from the hip.
Yep.
Literally. That truck was full of toilet paper.
Which you will see for the rest of the movie.
Yes.
So Joey just spilt the beans. They got all sorts of weapons hidden somewhere.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Joey's been promoted because he has a very small cigar now.
Yeah. He's got his black and mild.
Yeah. So much toilet paper. Hopefully there won't be a pandemic anytime soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back inside, I guess.
Yeah.
Give those trucks a Viking funeral.
Yes. I do like that they haven't answered this question yet, but they will, as to like, why haven't the trucks just killed everyone?
Yeah.
And then they do answer that question, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Because I was like, surely a truck of this size could just drive through this place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And those trucks were actually on fire.
Yeah.
Yep. There were a couple shots where you could tell that someone was actually driving the cab, but for the most part, this movie's doing a good job of obscuring them.
Yeah.
Also, because I'm looking to see if there are shots where I can tell see if someone's actually driving the truck.
Yep.
Fucking straight razors, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I once had a straight razor shave, just once.
Yeah. So Indiana Jane keeps a straight razor named Mother's Helper in her cowgirl boots, which we see often throughout the rest of the movie.
Yep. And then
And they said
hey,
the movie's
ding,
title
ding,
went
ding.
into Maximum Overdrive.
We've been Will Smithed.
They
Yes.
did the thing.
I love that supercut of Will Smith saying the name of the movie that he's in.
Will Smith has not made an appearance on the podcast in quite some time.
No, he hasn't.
Oh, someone gave me After Earth for Christmas last year as like a White Elephant gift. We could watch that.
gonna say,
It was
I
boring as fuck.
were you
I
being
actually
punished?
haven't seen it.
Yeah, it is very boring. After Earth is not a good movie.
It's disappointing. I am not a fan of Emilio's accent in this movie.
Emilio does understand consent here, though.
Mhm.
He asks, can I put my arm around you in a roundabout way? But it's still a question that she actively answers. Holy crap.
Fucking Ride of the Valkyries as we see that the comet is taking control of a plane.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah. So the implication here is two things to me. One, the plane took off on its own, or somehow mid-flight ejected all of its passengers.
Also, you hear the music faintly in the background.
Yeah.
Like it is actually being played.
I like the idea of the ladder in that it just like spun until like it just like barrel rolled until it killed everybody.
Yeah, just like swirling sky yeeted people.
Yes.
It's all fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
It's a very King-ism, but the fact that everyone keeps running by that sign is fun. It positions everyone as to where they are.
Mm-hmm.
a very used bathroom at this point.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This is why when I'm on road trips, I will stop at a place like Love's, because Love's has clean bathrooms.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And also delicious, bizarre meat tube concoctions.
Snappy meat tubes.
Dude, that like pancake hot dog we had, that maple pancake hot dog was egg hot dog was the best things I've ever eaten.
I went to Parks and Rec for brunch. It must have been years now, but they had like a pancake wrapped like sausage thing, and it was quite good. A sizable sausage. So
Gotcha.
Oh, a sizable sausage.
yeah.
So now Billy interrupts Randy while he's pooping and gets him to spill the beans on the fact that
Oh, man. And all the guns are in the basement. Yeah,
Right.
Randy would say.
He'd be like, shit.
yeah.
Whoops.
So they've got like a Terminator 2 style, just like armory down here.
Yeah.
Oh
So-
boy.
Is this is before Red Dawn for Emilio Estevez's character, right? Like this is in the Emilio Estevez verse,
Yeah.
he survives the car apocalypse.
He was
The
in Red
Esteverse.
Dawn?
I
Are
don't
you
know.
thinking Josh Brolin?
I'm confusing him and
The internet would tell us.
the guy from 2.5 Men, which is a horrible way to describe
Charlie
it.
Sheen?
Charlie Sheen.
He's also an Estevez.
Also
Yes,
Estevez,
also
though.
an Estevez, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
His cousin is off in Colorado.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. So, Emilio's boss is divulging his crimes, Emilio's crimes, as to why he's on the hook.
Yeah.
Have you moved on to a second beer, James?
Almost definitely.
Yeah, you
I'm
son of a
gonna
bitch.
do the same.
I moved on to
Yeah,
a
this-
cider, Ryan.
Yes, this was a
Technically-
very good sour first
Yes.
beer. What we got up next?
This is a Ryan presented.
Yeah, I'll have to turn on a light because I can't read the can.
You old man.
There are 2 phone flashlights on right now,
All
listener.
right, so this is from Odd Brothers Craft Cider. This is Los Dos, a cider
The
with
two.
pineapple and piloncillo, I suppose. I don't know what that is. I think it's like a brown sugar or something.
Raw Mexican brown sugar
There we go. It says it on the can.
Like
Gonna open this here up.
out of Homer, Michigan. Odd Brothers. Haven't had anything by them before.
That's a lie. You had super soft birthday party for Agnes's super soft surprise party.
I did not know that was a
Yep.
Odd
Yep.
Brothers.
Yep. Same thing.
So Emilio Estevez was very sad about admitting his crime to Indiana Jane.
Mm-hmm. And Indiana Jane's like, it's cool.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It-
She's like, I
okay.
get it.
Pat, pat, pat.
Yeah.
You can do crimes.
Yeah. I'm sure you had good reasons to do crimes.
It's the only way you can slick your hair back and have a earring and wear only a white T-shirt is to do
Mhm.
crimes.
Crime
That's what movies about the 50s taught me.
Yep.
Right.
And here the kid is trying to get into a sewer pipe like all children do,
Yeah.
or stray cats.
Who knows
whatever.
what secrets they may hold?
Yep,
I mean, the play places at like McDonald's are essentially plastic sewer pipes
That's-
for kids.
it's entirely true.
They become sewer pipes at some point.
Yep. Oh
Ooh.
boy.
So Brett and Billy have gotten silly.
Oh.
Doing some toe curling,
Mhm.
toe grabbing.
Mm.
Oh.
Make love like a hero. All right. Well,
So they're whispering sweet nothings to each other.
Yep. And this is actually like a tender moment between these two.
Yeah, it's
It's a moment of comfort for
it's the tension has been dialed back from, the last 40 minutes. What is this? Aurora Borealis?
Yep. It's the comet.
so we got a green glowy sky. It is now night. Night has fallen.
Yep.
on our quaint little gas station.
And Brett has the idea that you just gotta stay alive until the comet passes through.
Yeah.
Another week of this.
Hey, remember how people were losing their minds the first 2 weeks of the quarantine?
Yeah.
These trucks are still circling.
Yep.
So I'm gonna tell youngins, my nieces and nephews of mine, that this was what the quarantine was like. Rabid trucks roamed the roads of America. We had to all stay inside.
So, Billy, so Emilio's character, is saying that it's only things with motors that can come alive. So that's kind of like the rule they're trying to sort of establish here.
And then anything that is mechanically connected to said motor is under control of the motor.
Right.
Yes.
Like valves and such.
Which will come into play soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he suggests we should go get on we should buy a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that he's like, there's no motor on these boats. And spoiler alert, dear listener, when you look at the boat, he definitely uses something to turn a motor on the boat.
For purposes of the movie, it's like, all right, yeah, cool.
Yep.
It's a sailboat. Sailboat does not have a motor.
Yep.
Some do. Most do.
Most do. And so the jukebox just fucking exploded.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw records.
I did too.
Like shuriken.
That's what this movie needs, honestly, is more of just random shit causing havoc.
Yep.
So the waitress
loses it.
says, hit her breaking point.
Yep.
We're going by sanity rules.
Just like she's like, we made them. You have to listen to me, car.
I love how just crazily she acts this scene too.
I'm gonna send this clip to Claire and be like, I need a reenactment.
Also, you pukey things is a bizarre insult.
I like that line though.
Yes.
Honk.
I imagine that's F-U lady and
In Truckanese.
yeah.
Yeah. Take a chill pill. So now the power turns off or flickers at the gas station.
Waitress still kind of freaking out.
Yep.
The cider's nice.
Yeah,
The,
it's fine.
The
very-
brown sugar gives it a distinct finish, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
It is very sweet.
This is super
Yes.
sweet.
I attribute that to the addition of the sugar. I mean, pineapple itself
Yeah.
is pretty sweet when you put them in ciders.
Yep. And now we have all the folks.
Yardley Smith is a tiny person.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty short.
Is he?
And like hasn't aged either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone's just,
Second act slump.
yep, trying to stay entertained, occupied.
Yep.
Again, like Max said, very much like the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell game are they playing where he has one card facing the wrong way?
They're playing blackjack.
So at this point, you might be wondering, as I was when I first saw this, I'm like, cars run on gas.
Yep.
How are these cars going to continue their reign of destruction if they've just been driving in circles for, 12 hours?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that gets solved momentarily.
Very soon.
Yes.
And really, that same logic undercuts a lot of zombie movies. Like, I mean, humans run off of, the energy you have in your body. Why do zombies last so long?
Magic.
Yeah, magic, supernatural, biological terrors.
And so you can hear
The Bible salesman
the Bible
is still
salesman
alive.
is alive in the ditch.
Because originally I was like, nah, that wouldn't have killed him. Knock him out of his shoes, yes. Kill him, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, those characters without names.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, mooks, line up.
You called that a beer gun? Not in my trucker army.
All right, we'll go out there, but only if one of you named characters goes out first.
Yeah. And here comes the convoy of trucks.
Mm-hmm.
We got a great big convoy. Ain't she a
Yep.
beautiful sight? We got a great big convoy arriving in the night.
It's a scaravan of trucks.
You know, the thing about filming this movie is, like, when they put out a call and they're like, all right, here's the call we need. We need a whole bunch of truckers to drive with all their lights on for, like, a mile so we can film them. That there was, like, a line out the door of truckers willing to do that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We'll give you a slab of beer.
Yeah. Great shot. I like this shot.
Yeah, there are some good shots in this movie.
The light behind the kid.
Yeah.
The rumbling of the pipe.
Rumbling of the pipe. Yep.
We need to take the bazooka with us.
Yeah. For safety. Quick question.
Yeah.
How much do you think taking a shower at a truck stop costs? I know the answer, so I'm
Don't
seeing...
you gotta like crank quarters into it or something? Because they do that at some campgrounds.
Like you're talking like a national truck stop chain, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's like $5 or $10, isn't it?
It's like 15.
Okay. Yeah.
Dang.
So, but I mean, you think about it, like typically modern long haul trucks have like a cab in the bed. The cab has a bed and everything else.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
in reality, what those guys are they're paying to a premium to make sure that the showers are nice and clean and
Yeah.
Basically that they're not going to run out of hot water, right? Because I mean that's also something too that those like if you're in a Love's, if you listen, they're calling shower numbers pretty frequently.
Dougie loves.
Ontario.
That's not the weirdest place I've seen an Ontario plate.
Huh.
When I was in... My family and I went to Cancun back in, like, 2007, on vacation or whatever. And one of the things we did was, like, an excursion. We went to this small island, like, I don't know, 20 miles offshore or whatever for the day. Went snorkeling and did stuff on the island. So we're in a small island off the Yucatan Peninsula, fucking sedan with an Ontario plate.
Nice.
On this Isla Mujeres or whatever, just like could not figure out.
They're like, all right
All
then.
right then.
Yeah.
I am just noticing back to the movie there that one of the stalls was labeled Bubba's private shower.
Yeah. Yep.
And now we're getting the For Those About to Rock in the background.
Yep.
Lyricless.
Mm-hmm. I imagine like a number of these songs probably debuted with this movie.
That would be something.
That'd be interesting to know.
Yeah. That is a large rope, by the way.
That's a hefty one.
It's a beefy rope.
Speaking of
it's
ropes.
like-
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's like the rope storage had some Indian food before.
Oh, God. Kayla showed me a video just before you guys got here. This dude tied a rope around like the back door of his car, his SUV,
Okay.
and had thought he was going to fell a tree.
Oh,
by just tying the rope to the back door. And it was a big tree. It was probably, I don't know, 18 inches in diameter, maybe more.
Did it go well?
No, just ripped the door right off the car. Tree didn't move at all. That's what you get.
Reminds me of that one episode of King of the Hill where they're trying to go stumping.
Yeah.
Shots like this always make me think, like, man, if I was an actor, I'd struggle with this. I don't think I'd do well in a space this enclosed.
Yeah. Yeah,
This
these are some like Half-Life sized vents, but
Yeah.
still, it's
Hero-sized vents.
yeah.
This feels like a Resident Evil, like a true Resident Evil shot right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Who Made Who, which was the opening track from this movie,
Yeah.
debuted with this, but Hell's Bells and For Those Who Are Out to Rock came out within 5 years of this, so they were well-known songs.
Hmm.
All right.
This is a very poorly designed drainage ditch.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it's not
Poo water. This water is brown.
Yeah. At least it's not like, I mean, this is just like washed off people water. It's not like doo-doo water.
I don't know. I wouldn't.
I mean, I would.
Yeah, because he said it was the
Probably
showers,
all combines.
The
the showers
drain.
drained into this, so
Yeah.
Probably all combines into this. All right, they've made it through. Nope, this is the kid.
Mhm.
Yep.
Just as dirty looking.
Oh, yeah. That is a dirty child.
He looks like a junior version of Emilio Estevez's character.
Hmm.
Emilio Estevito.
That's the Vito. Emilio Ito.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll say
We have some weird bass licks as this kid's just.
the
Sneaking
sneaking
around.
bass
Yeah.
line.
He looks like he's. That face is not. It is cracking me up.
Hmm.
What?
So he finds the salesman on the ground, covered in mud, looking pretty annihilated.
Mhm.
Finds the salesman that has better Swamp Thing makeup than Swamp Thing.
Yes. Christ.
Yeah.
What was the fucking kid's name from Swamp Thing again? Jude?
Yep, Jude.
Yeah. Jude could save the day here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
more
Fuck,
Jude.
put Jude in charge.
Yeah.
Well, there goes the neighborhood.
Oh, God. He ain't dead.
Whacks him with his paddle.
So the salesman's trying to convince the kid to save him.
He's
It's not making a great case.
No,
His
he's not.
raspy voice also sounds very
he's,
Stephen
he's,
King-y.
he's doing his best bog witch.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Where does that sarcasm come from? Like, that character has not displayed any propensity for sarcasm before or after, I think.
Curtis kind of comes alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
After his life or death duel on the road.
Yeah, I think they should have offered this guy up as a sacrifice
To the trucks.
to the trucks. Oh, great and mighty trucks!
I honestly thought that was going to
Please
happen at
take
some
this
point.
Bible salesman.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I do like how the trucks are like, nope, you're not getting through there again.
Yep.
Yeah. I really did think that the salesman was going to be used, like, not explicitly as an offering, but like as bait.
as bait.
Yeah, or you'd see him get crushed like
Yeah.
as he tries to get into the pipe or whatever.
So one thing, they are very dry for just coming out of a drainage ditch.
Yes.
Poo water dries fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
His blood stains are faded.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Boom, boom, boom.
This kid looks familiar.
We do.
He really does.
Let's consult the interweb.
Yeah. Indiana Jane.
Yeah. Uh,
I
Thank
love
you,
that
Henry Trap.
obvious ADR.
God damn, it ain't no saving.
Bazooka!
Yeah.
Why haven't they just been bazookaing everything?
Because you've only got so many rockets.
Yeah, but,
But
there's-
use them.
use them. Make it a truck graveyard.
Yeah.
What could you possibly be saving them for at
Like
this
everyone's
point?
just standing around drinking beer. It's like, oh yeah, what else are we gonna do?
If you bazooka enough trucks, then maybe they'll go away because they'll assume that you are like
The Alpha Predator.
yeah.
The Alpha car.
What they need to do is they need that dad that made that box version of a transformer for his kid, where his kid
Oh,
laid
yeah,
down
yeah,
in
yeah.
a car and then he stood up and he was
Yep.
a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You just camouflage.
Yeah.
Just go brr, 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 to keep them away.
Yeah. And here's where the poor kid learns that his dad is gone,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just not doing okay.
Nope.
No. And Bill goes in to help him out. 'Cause
Yep.
Bill's a good
I'm
guy.
gonna put you in a headlock.
The kid, whose name is Holter Graham.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Holter Graham. He was in another car-based movie. He was in Joyride.
Really?
The horror movie.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I assumed that gas leaking out was going to be more plot relevant.
I thought that was milk.
Nope. Sorry, I lied. Different movie called Joyride. Totally different. I think that's a Paul Walker movie, actually.
Oh. Kids up blowing bubbles because children in the 80s had literally nothing else to do.
Oh, weird though. Holter Graham is in a movie called Offspring, which I just bought a couple weeks ago and haven't seen, so I'll see him in something else.
So, I like how they're like, all right, Stephen King, you can have your giant-ass bulldozer, but by God, you are not driving it on the highway. You will stick to the shoulder.
Yeah.
Mr. Graham does a lot of voice work for video games, actually. Red Dead Redemption 2,
Oh, wow.
The Warriors,
Okay.
GTA.
This kid?
Yep.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Apparently he was in Crybaby with Johnny Depp.
Oh, yeah. That's a fun little movie.
I think Bill was like, hey, you know where we're going to sleep? Above all the nudie magazines. Or below all the nudie magazines.
I mean,
Yeah. Where the bed is.
Yeah. So we have not just a
Big-ass bulldozer.
bulldozer showing up, but
extra big ass dozer.
a M60 platform, which is hilariously designed.
Yeah, I knew you'd be able to tell what kind of platform this is. I'm like, James will know what this is.
Well, the machine gun on it is an M60 machine gun.
Yeah.
I love the double door crash. And like his posture, he's like, that's a scene where you could immediately substitute that dude with John C. Reilly and it would be 10 times better.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, John C. Reilly, you're a treasure.
Indeed.
John C. Reilly needs to be in the remake of this movie.
Agree.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have to do a remake of. We're gonna have to do our recast.
Oh gosh.
This is, I love the idea of this thing. Like, there's
A wheel and a gun. That's all
like,
this thing
how
has.
is this useful? That's a man-portable machine gun. I question.
Yeah.
I question the effectiveness and the military necessity of that platform.
So
Bubba's car gets demolished.
gets dozed.
So yeah, the bulldozer just pushes a car into the gas station,
Yep.
and that's Bubba Hendershot has had enough.
Yep.
He has had it. I imagine the bulldozer being like ha ha ha
Yeah.
ha ha.
Yes. Like a Futurama robot laugh.
Yeah. But it is just like destroying the ground as it's driving around. So that's probably like one shot,
Oh,
or in no way they're allowing that on the actual road.
Nope. I don't know how that shot works, by the way.
Yeah, that would not have stopped that thing.
Well, then he hits the back of the cab.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird film grain change there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
It's much grainier
Yep.
as
Right.
the machine gun on
On a-
on a cart, essentially.
on like an 1860s mining cart.
yeah,
Yeah.
the ones you pump.
Yeah, that's the like modern equivalent of that.
I like the shot though because like it's so it's flailing. It's like it's Porky Pigging itself.
So a bunch of the mooks got shot by the
Yeah.
the command cart.
And
Machine
Mr.
gun
Hingle.
growls.
Yeah, it does. It makes like
You shot up the bubbles.
dude, I would be blowing bubbles everywhere if I was just passing time. Look at all those bubbles, man.
Joey survived though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the
This
waitress.
set just
So-
keeps getting like progressively more destroyed as this movie goes on.
Which is great. And then she loses it again.
Yeah. You sons of bitches. Gonna have a suit up montage. Rampage.
What, just a bunch of cast iron skillets?
Sure. So she grabs the AT-4. I thought she was going to fire it the wrong direction at some point.
No, this isn't Commando.
She's still on the We Made You thing. I like that it's not that she's drunk. She's just
Hysterical?
fundamentally hysterical.
And gets squibbed to hell and back.
Yep. She does annihilate the Miller Lite truck
Yep.
as she's dying.
Oh, speaking of Miller Lite, Miller apparently is donating a fuck ton of beer if America gets its fucking act together and gets 70% vaccinated by July 1st. So do the fucking needful.
Do the needful. Get free beer.
Yeah.
You will not be sorry you did.
Yeah.
And then the machine gun cart begins beeping in Morse code.
Mm-hmm. If this was more of a comedy, they would be Morse coding back to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuck you, cars.
Get wrecked.
I hope your warranty is expired.
Mm-hmm. So, Deke is saving the day because he knows Morse code
So
from
you got a merit
scouts.
badge in it. Yep.
From scout camp. Eep, 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 eep.
So we're now entering what I would consider to be the most ridiculous part of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So someone must pump fuel. Someone will not be harmed. This will be done, or you will all die.
Yeah.
So Joey exclaims that, we can't pump gas because we don't have any power. And then everything turns back on. Fancy that. Oh, my God.
So everyone is clearly lost it in this movie.
Yep.
They're just 40s Miller High Life everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Huh? Nazi time. All right, so the Billy is trying to put a plan together here.
Yep.
Yeah, he's wondering why they haven't all been annihilated yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Summary destruction of the squishies.
Yep.
He's so smart.
Yep. Because they're like, oh, we'll just fill these couple trucks.
Yep.
That'll be fine.
Yeah. Seems like it's,
So
seems
Billy-
like a plan.
Yeah, the machine gun cart is like, no, no bazookas for you. No AT-4. That
Yeah.
stays there.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just use this gingham to cover up poor Wanda.
Dum, 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 dum. So Emilio is approaching the machine gun car, and it's all
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting POV shot from the machine gun.
Every now and then, I think I see a shot where I can see like the fishing line or whatever they use
Yeah.
to move it, but it's never,
It's never a
blatant.
distraction, yeah. So now this is where
So he goes up to the ear of the Green Goblin truck.
Yep. And starts talking to it.
He's like, hey, Mang, heard you need a fix.
Yep.
Talking to him like he's a drug dealer, so
Yep.
practically uncut. So it's like, 10% ethanol by law.
grrr, it growls and its eyes glow. truck's all, I'm somewhat of a drug dealer myself.
Yeah. So Hell's Bells starts
Yep.
playing. And we're in for one of the most, I guess, weirdest montages that's graced the podcast this far.
Yeah, this is a weird.
Yeah, if you really want to get your blood and adrenaline pumping, you know what's going to do that? A montage of people just filling trucks with gas.
Pumping gas, yeah. This reminds me of the big blackout from 2003.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which I actually kind of avoided for the first couple days as I was off at summer camp.
Ah.
And we had power.
Okay.
So, like, my dad came to pick me up. And he's like, yeah, like, we haven't had power for 2 days.
Oh wow.
Shit.
I remember that I was going to work, and in the between me leaving school to go to work and me getting to work, the power went out.
Yeah.
Or not school. No, that was in summer.
Yeah, it was like 2003, so.
Yep. So whenever I got up and left, the power was out. So
Yeah. So we've seen the temperature rising to peak, summer, 100 degrees. The trucker's getting more and more, like, disgruntled as the day goes on is amusing. And everyone's kind of just like I've been making this movie for fucking 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Please let me end this.
Yeah. I just want to go home.
Yeah, again, weird montage. It's just as boring as pumping actual gas.
Mm-hmm.
I do like this shot here with the camera
Yes.
kind of craning up. At their Brett leaning on a truck on the expressway, and as we gain elevation here, we see there are a gazillion trucks waiting to be
as
fueled
far
up.
as the eye can see down the entire road, highway.
So I one of the reasons I like this scene is that it's an homage to the actual story.
Okay.
So the story ends effectively at this.
That they've been enslaved by the
story
trucks
ends
to pump
they've been
gas.
enslaved by machines, because it talks about them like, oh yeah, they're pumping gas, and it hits this moment right here where they're like, oh, the gas station ran out of gas, sucks to be you, cars.
Yeah.
And then the truck full of more gas shows up, and it just at that point the story pans out a little bit and is like, and at this moment there were people on oil rigs and on boats forcing themselves to like basically pump oil for machines at that point. It's basically ends with like, oh yeah, humanity's enslaved by machines at this point.
Right. Kind of like the more dour ending of Children of the Corn.
Yeah. Yep.
Which ends with like all the adults being the adults from the first movie being killed, and then Isaac going like, well, y'all fucked up, so we're lowering the age limit from 18 to 17.
Oh.
But, that obviously doesn't track well with movies, though.
Gotcha.
Yep. Phones are the enemy. They cannot be trusted. So that's what happened to all the payphones.
Fine by me.
You got a lot of like hubcap shots in this movie.
Mm-hmm. To show you that these are real vehicles and they are actually moving on screen.
Yeah. His disdain while doing this is palpable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Those hoses are fucking heavy.
Yeah.
Got to be safe, dog.
And like he looks tired at this point.
Yeah.
This is good. This is actually good acting.
Mm-hmm. Got nominated for Razzie for this.
Oh,
But yeah,
Razzies.
he looks just like exhausted.
Razzies were around back then?
Mm-hmm. The Thing got nominated for a Razzie.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it
true.
started in the 80s, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. Not certain, though.
Yeah.
you can fact check us. So Mr. Faison has elected to take over for Billy because he is exhausted, as we've mentioned.
Yeah.
Ooh, trucks don't get tired.
Yep.
Yep. So.
Showers be neat. And so, talking about a
So
way
they
to
got
escape
plans
plan.
to escape.
Yep.
fucking the watchful machine gun cart.
Yes.
Got a very large magazine. You can, or large belt. You can shoot them all down with bullets to spare.
Indiana Jane comes out to make sure she's okay.
So now, Gordon Bombay is speaking in Rust-like philosophical nonsense from True Detective Season 1.
Yeah.
Comments like a broom. Let me carve little trucks out of this Milwaukee's best.
Yeah. Ooh, and his hands are all blistered. Why are his hands blistered?
So from pumping the gas, they don't have the little clip to like hold it. So it's probably the tension of having to hold that thing down as it's like
just squeeze the handle for hours
squeezing
and
the
hours.
handle for hours as it's probably like vibrating and rotating of
Right.
the force of the gas going through.
I guess.
And
seems like you get more like hand cramps.
I don't know.
yeah. Also, you could just grab a rag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now he has a theory that aliens are using the comet to
Wipe out
humanity via cars. Which is ridiculous. And yet, dear listener, just you wait.
Yeah.
More shots of
Exploded Miller trucks.
Yep. Blown up cars. Trucks slowly but surely.
This whole area must have looked pretty awesome while they were filming all this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he didn't stop the bulldozer. He just blew the top off.
Yeah.
Because they're filling it up.
Oh, yeah. The bulldozer comes back with a vengeance.
It was just a strong discouragement
Yep.
for the bulldozer. All right, they've made it to the escape pipe.
Yep. A more different escape pipe,
Yeah.
which looked a whole lot like the original
Does look
escape
pretty
pipe.
familiar.
That's what I thought was what they were. That's what I thought they were escaping out of earlier. So.
Good God. Yeah, that accent is worth a Razzie for sure.
Yeah.
Emilio Estevez in this movie is built like our friend Chris Henserick. Same
Yes.
body type.
A little bit.
Yeah.
just
What?
spinning the gun around.
So
Kaboom!
Billy drops a grenade on the machine gun cart.
He is so young in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
With the 80st of hair.
Mm-hmm. Bullets randomly firing off.
Pew pew.
And
Happy
then it was unusually
toys.
foggy one day.
Yep. Now the mist.
Yeah.
I love this scene.
Yeah, this rant from her as she's going into the sewer.
Yeah.
Just
He's just like, I fucking hate this woman.
just complaining about
Subtitles of talking unintelligibly.
Yeah.
Yes. She's just her complaints just allied into each other.
Yeah.
It's just a stream of consciousness of things she doesn't want to deal with.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the trucks
Almost to near Boomhauer levels of
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
stuff. No dang, no trucks, no legs, no spiders, man. They don't
Sewers and run from the comet here.
And the trucks have finally had enough.
Wait a second. We've been had.
Yeah. They're just Kool-Aid manning their way into the building.
This must have been a lot of fun to shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tear it all down, boys.
Yeah, just break it all. So is this movie like the original precursor to Horizon Zero Dawn, Ryan?
Ha 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 ha. Deep cut. Some spooky green comet sky again.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hate signs. There's the newlywed car.
Yep.
Just getting crushed.
Trampled. So much carnage. It's great.
Yep.
Yep.
But we're not done. The bulldozer just
This
back
week
and forth.
at the Silver Dome in
Yeah.
a Maximum Overdrive.
Sunday,
It's $12.
Sunday. Yeah, exactly. Adults 15, kids 3 for 20.
Yep, so just a lot of fun carnage
Yep.
right now.
They're all watching for some reason. Well, they're all like Rambo'd up.
Yep.
Mhm.
So this truck commits suicide.
Yes.
It's full of oxygen.
Semi-peku.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, there are the sparks.
Kablam!
That's a hell of an explosion.
It is.
Yeah.
And then that, and then one more.
I got the AC/DC pyrotechnic team.
I
Yep.
guess.
There it is.
Keep rolling.
Yep. Boom! I love this. It's
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
Just keep filming. Stuff's gonna burn for a while.
Yeah.
We could only do this shot once. We're taking every second.
Yeah.
Yep. Curtis has stripped all of his clothes except for his Bill shirt in an attempt to be as cool as Bill.
Yep.
I'm
Surprised
surprised
his hair hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that earring from? I don't know.
Yeah. I was gonna say I'm
Shrapnel.
surprised he doesn't have like a Cheerio glued to his ear.
That'd be pretty funny. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the Estevez now.
Yeah. That shot.
Of a plane,
The plane crashed into a school bus.
just perfectly vertical.
That's so stupid.
What we need is we need a shot of a plane
Yeah.
crash into a school bus.
But
Good.
why?
Yes. Good. Yes. Good. 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 Yes.
But why, Stephen?
Yes.
Shut up and do it.
Yeah.
The New York Times bestseller.
The array of weaponry that they have at their disposal right there is cracking me up. Between like
Yeah.
M16s, there's an SR-25 there, and then Randy has a like World War II era British submachine gun.
Is that a bar?
Yeah.
So they were hiding next to a fast food place, and the fucking speaker started saying "humans here, humans here."
Which is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the kid D, because he murdered it with his gun.
He let out some aggression.
He did.
Yep.
Here comes Sweet Tooth again.
Yep. Playing King of the Road, which is great. And Curtis is like, I want some with my Uzi.
Yeah.
And Indiana Jane is da 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 da.
Yeah. Yeah. He tries to fire and he can't do anything to him. They're the merry band of car murderers.
I love these big frame filling shots of the fucking Green Goblin.
Yeah. And they're just running over random people on the road.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
We better hurry up. It's getting light. I like the
Pitch
implication.
blackout.
The implication.
The cars can't see at
Cars
night.
can't see at night.
See, like this car attacked its driver.
Yeah.
But with the window up, apparently.
Yep. And this is just like a mook, right?
Yeah, a mook steals a giant, gaudy-ass ring.
Yep.
Like this, it's like the size of a ring pop, but it's real.
Yeah. Brad. I think that's the first time we've ever heard this character's name.
Mm-hmm. And I love how
Yeah.
the Green Goblin truck has silently crept up on Brad while he's looting corpses.
It's so stupid.
The Green Goblin truck and King Kong. And he just splatters on the front of the truck. And yep, like
Gets him right in the mouth.
right in the mouth.
So the Green Goblin took a rocket to his teeth.
Yep. Boom.
This movie has pretty satisfying explosions.
It
Yeah,
does.
it does. I've been watching a lot of like 80s action movies recently in my free time. Like, Predator, Commando, etc. And you cannot beat an 80s explosion.
Yeah. I don't understand how he can't figure out how to untie that knot. And
Yeah.
It's just like, no, give me the razor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of untying this pretty simple looking knot, I'm going to sit here for 10 minutes sawing
Yep.
at it. So they're on the boat.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yep.
escaping.
Yep. And then
And now it's over. It's over.
it's over. And guess
by
what?
the way.
I like that this has two big drops. That one, a UFO was apparently behind all of this, and two, that the Russians have space nukes.
Yes, which shot down the UFO.
Yes. Equipped with a laser cannon also.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
I do like that it says Russian weather satellite
Yeah.
in quotes.
Yep.
yeah, the survivors of the Dixie Boy are still survivors. Everyone who made it on the boat survived.
It's a great wrap up. I
Yeah.
love it. I'm totally good with it.
Yeah. So,
it is done.
yeah, that was Maximum Overdrive as we're going out to You Shook Me All Night Long by
Yep.
AC/DC, which is a fine song. Like, as far as
Yeah.
AC/DC songs
This
go,
is a good one.
yeah, it's a good one. Yeah.
Yep.
Good for weddings.
Indeed.
All right, so let's get into View Again, Brew Again. Will we watch this movie again? Will we drink this beer and cider again? James Short.
All right. Watch this movie again. So, Ryan, I know you joined me on this, which was that for a mere $1 more,
Oh, yeah.
you can purchase this movie on Amazon Prime rather than rent it. And I am the proud owner of Maximum Overdrive
For what, $4
for
or $5?
$5. And I will tell you, I will be watching it again.
Good.
This is I had seen this before, but it had been a long time. Like probably 15 years or more. It slows down in the middle a little bit, but I'm good with it. Like, I don't have too many large complaints about this movie. The biggest one, if you edited 10 minutes out of this movie, I don't think you miss all that much, and I think you would be perfectly fine. If this was an 88-minute movie or an 85-minute movie, I think you get the exact same experience. That's the one thing that I'll say about it. It's all practical effects. It's cheesy in the right spots. It is hilarious in the right spots. It sets out to do what it should do, which is make me laugh for an hour and a half. And yeah, I will watch this again. Like, I will probably sit down and watch this again at some point. Now, mind you, when I watch movies a lot of the time that I've seen before, I'm always kind of like painting or doing something else. But like, this is not a background movie. This is like an actual, like, I will choose to watch this movie kind of.
Yeah,
deal.
kind of just unwind.
Yeah. Brew again. So the let me get the actual name here. Raspberry Dream Ale Sour. Yes. I found that tremendous. I don't know where I'm ever going to find that again. Well, the guy that I got it from is a beer distributor, so obviously someone around here carries it. He hinted at Holiday Market might have that. Which is
Yeah, they've got a very, very good selection.
up by me, so I should be able to find it there. I like that quite a lot. To your point, Ryan, it's almost like two different beers at times. When it is very cold, it is quite sour. And when it is not so cold, it is far less sour. But both times, strong raspberry flavor comes through. Like real raspberry flavor comes through.
Yeah.
And then Los Dos, I would like this, but I would like about half of this can's worth of it.
Yeah, both these beers we had today are tall boys, so that's, a lot for each of these. Like a tall boy cider, that's a lot of cider.
Yeah, I would I liked Los Dos a ton when it was really cold. When it was first out of the can, I really liked that. So like I would even put this. I could drink this much of it, but I would rather drink this much of it as 2 separate pours.
Sure.
Yeah.
Strong, good pineapple flavor, nice brown sugar taste too, which I think brown sugar is an underutilized flavor at times.
I can't think of many beers that utilize it. I like putting it on meat.
Yeah, it's a complex, delicious flavor, and I would like to see more of it. And with that, watch Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go next. I'll start with Brew again. I really do enjoy this Raspberry Dream Ale. I like this more than I like Rubaeus.
Really?
Oh.
Yes. Yes. Like you were saying, a little tartar on the front than the back, but enjoyable either way. Los Dos, if it was smaller, yes. It's not my favorite. Like you were saying, it starts off sweet. As it warms up, it gets even sweeter,
Yeah.
I find.
Yep.
So that's kind of a turn off for me combined with the size of this can. So yes on the first, probably not on the second. But that's just how it is. View again. Yes, but I think this movie is best viewed with friends. It's definitely a movie that you want to like laugh at and talk to people about while you're watching it. That being said, I'm not ruling out picking up an actual physical copy of this because I looked and there was a recent release which has a commentary track by Jonah Ray of MST3K.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the author of Stephen King in Hollywood, which I guess documents
Stephen
his
King
time
in Hollywood.
Yeah, so Stephen King in Hollywood. So I imagine there's a whole bunch of crazy insights on that one.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
So that one that would be cool.
Yeah.
So I might look into picking that up. And I expected like a more of a train wreck just from everything I'd heard about this movie.
It's not.
But yeah,
like it really isn't.
it's like it's funny and it's schlocky at times, but yeah, I can kind of see what they were going for,
Yeah, so I mean, I think that speaks to King, right? Again, I know some people don't like him, but he understands the elements of plot. He understands characters and he understands situations. So like he may not have the greatest cinematic lens or scope that he's working with, but he understands how a story should be told.
Yeah, and for this, I think this was his directorial debut. So I think
there's been a lot worse directorial debuts by a lot better directors.
Exactly. So in that sense, good job, Steve. Not much more to say than that. It's entertaining. It's definitely worth your time. So check it out. Ryan.
Yo, all right. I'm gonna start with Brew again first. The first one, what was it? Oh, I lost the can.
Those are Raspberry Dream Ale.
Raspberry Dream Ale. Yeah, I think this is really good. I wouldn't say I like it more than the other big raspberry one, Rubaeus, but it's up there for me. If they might be on equal footing, it does for me. It was very, very different. First sip versus the rest of the drink. But yeah, it was really nice. I was worried that this was going to taste like a liquid version of those like raspberry candies that have like the gooey stuff in the middle.
Oh yeah.
But no, this was really nice. So a shout out to that guy who gave these to James. Yeah, this is really pleasant. The Los Dos, I think the flavors are good. This is it's just too sweet for me overall. I think you could easily shave this down by like 35% sweetness, and I think that's a better spot for me. And again, this is a large can, so there's just a lot of it.
Yeah.
But
I think this beer would be better if you added like some chili powder or something. It would just kind of give a little
I think that'd be a good idea. I think that'd mix well. I agree. But I think it's good. I think it's good. And again, we had another beer from this weekend or so ago. Super Soft Birthday. A Letterkenny reference, and that was a cherry cider with marshmallow.
That was real good.
And I liked that better than this Los Dos. personally. But I think they're good. And we, Kayla and I just happened upon these guys selling their beer. I keep looking at the wrong can. At the Royal Oak Farmers Market, just in time for the super soft party that we were throwing for our friend.
Excellent.
So it worked out well. View again. Yeah, I would absolutely view this again if in a group setting. If either of you guys are watching it or pick up the physical copy. Yeah, like I'm down. I also was expecting this. I hadn't seen this before, and I was expecting it to be much worse than it was. I was really pleased with the opening, and it's just I like the energy and just the silliness of it. And this movie never gets too big for its britches. Like it knows what it is, and it's just like fuck it. Cars are just sentient, and they're gonna run people over. And also a soda machine is gonna fire cans at Little League. It's just it's fun. This is a really fun B movie. Actually, I was happy to have seen this one. Yeah, and I guess that's kind of all I have to say about this one.
All right. Favorite death in the movie. If you guys need a second to think about it, I'll go first.
Go ahead, Max.
My favorite death in the movie is the kid getting run over by the steamroller.
It's for me. It's a tie between that and the implied lawnmower deaths.
Okay.
Fair. Yeah.
Although soda can to the head is pretty
that
good
one
too.
was pretty good.
Part of the steamroller death for the Little League kid though, like part of that is because that steamroller just comes out of nowhere.
It does, yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah!
Steamroller.
Yeah. Just plows over the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Like what? Why was that there?
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't an establishing shot.
No.
like a construction zone next door.
Yeah.
No, it just suddenly steamroller.
Yeah.
It's a huge one. It's not it's a
big
man-sized one.
That's a big old one. That's a freeway steamroller right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do we want to briefly touch on the other Pole movies, maybe?
Yeah. So for Motor Month, we had two other motorcycle focused movies.
Yeah, and maybe we shouldn't divulge too much about Motorama.
Well,
maybe briefly.
Well, briefly. Let's start off with Motorama just to kind of get it out of the way. Motorama is this weird kind of surreal road trip movie in which a young boy is traveling across the country on a quest to complete a game called Motorama. Ryan has been lobbying for this movie, so even though it lost the poll, probably going to see it at some point in the future on the podcast.
Most definitely.
It's a
really
weird
liked it.
out there movie. I kind of view it as like a gateway drug to David Lynch's what's that movie? Wild Hearts. his Nicolas Cage movie, and Laura Dern film. So if you've seen that, just think of Wild at Heart and then dial it back like 40%.
Right, and sprinkle on some Home Alone, kind of. That's like the vibe.
Yeah. The other movie we watched was Torque, which was it's a 2004 motorcycle action-y movie, which very much feels like a riff on Fast and Furious because it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's several references to the
and one very direct reference to Fast and Furious.
Yeah. Very direct references to the movie, which is weird because like they were only 2 movies into that series at that point, so it feels like they were really early in that.
That first movie was kind of a force of nature when it came out, though. The first Fast and Furious hit just at the right time and had the right kind of tone. That was a kind of a cultural phenomenon when it hit. The reality of the Fast and Furious movies is the first one came out, and then the series slowly started to fade until it really picked itself back up and ran with what people wanted.
Yeah, and that was 8 years later before it made that that switch. I actually saw Torque in theaters. With
really?
with a friend of mine that I grew up playing soccer with, and that might be my first bad movie I saw in theaters because I went in and I was just kind of okay, the movie's 84 minutes long too.
Yeah.
That being said, it's a pretty tight movie with such a tight time, but it's not good by any sense of the movie whatever. It's got a very weird cast. Adam Scott is in it.
Yeah.
Who must be 25 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or he looks like he's 25.
Yep.
Ice Cube's in it,
Mhm.
which I think he
That
does
fits.
a fine job with being the head of a biker gang.
Yep.
And it's got the second appearance of Jamie Presley being on a Pole movie that didn't win for us.
Yeah. The Presley curse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, for me, this was a good Pole month. I liked all three of these movies. I really did. Torque is dumb as hell. Like, it's so fucking stupid.
Mhm.
But it was really entertaining, and it leans into how absurd it is a lot of times, and the movie benefits from it. Like, there's the weird, like, motorcycle
Party?
foo. Like,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
going up
The
on
bike
one
foo.
wheel and, like, clash. Yeah, bike foo. That's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah.
Thank you, Max. It's so dumb. It's very dumb, but, like, it's got a lot of really energetic camera work. Yeah, I was not expecting to enjoy that movie at all. The main actor is
Forgettable.
unwatchably bad at acting. But the movie is fun, and I'm considering a hard copy on that one.
No. No.
Yeah, Max is rolling up a newspaper.
I'm disappointed that you both didn't come up with Motor Capoeira.
Oh God.
That's not outside the realm of possibility of some of the crazy stuff they do. Because there's a big like celebration of like motorcycle culture, like there was in the first couple Fast and the Furious movies, of like showing like street races and
Yeah.
gatherings and stuff like that. Also, first time I can recall crystal meth ever being a plot point or like knowing about what crystal meth was.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It wasn't in the like the cultural lexicon like it was in the later decades and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So, but it just looks like yellow cocaine in that movie.
Looks like curry. Yeah, but no, but good work, all good poll.
Yeah. Reminder: you can vote on future polls for Good Brews, Bad Views by becoming a Patreon subscriber. Where you can, vote on a monthly poll as well as getting access to some monthly writings. Our poll for July is going to be shark-based movies because tis the season for those kind of things. So you have until the end of June to vote on that. So vote on that.
Do the needful.
Yeah, do the needful. But that pretty much wraps up this episode of Good Brews, Bad Views. Thanks for tuning in and watching this bad movie with us, or at the very least, listen to us talk about this bad/good movie that we all enjoyed. Surprising things happen on this podcast. If you have not already, please leave us a rating and review on your podcast streaming service/application of choice. That helps people find us with the match of the algorithm, and you'll have our eternal gratitude. As already mentioned, check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/goodbrewsbadviews for all that stuff. There are several different levels of patronage that you can subscribe to, depending on how much you would like to, help support the podcast.
$1 bills.
We are on all of the social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. Just by searching Good Brews, Bad Views or GBBV Podcast, you'll find us, and then can hear us shout into the void even more so than we already are. You can send us all of your hate mail at goodbrewsbadviews@gmail.com. And as always, please watch
And drink.
Responsibly.
Trent.